My name is Monica Harper, and I'm about to tell you about the day that was supposed to be one of the proudest moments of my life. My daughter's college graduation. My baby girl, Jasmine, 22 years old, about to walk across that stage, get her bachelor's degree in engineering from Georgia Tech, a black woman with an engineering degree from one of the best schools in the country. Girl, I was so proud, so excited. I'd been planning for this day for weeks. Got my outfit together. Navy blue dress, matching heels, hair done, nails done, looking good, because this was my moment too. See, I'd worked 3 jobs to put Jasmine through school. Me and her daddy, Kenneth, we'd sacrificed everything to make sure she could go to college without debt. Kenneth worked construction, union job, good money, but hard work. I worked as a receptionist at a dental office during the day, cleaned offices at night, did hair on the weekends, for 4 years. We did this. No vacations. No new cars, no fancy dinners. Everything went to Jasmine's education. And today, May 6th, she was graduating. Kenneth and I woke up at 5 a.m., even though the ceremony wasn't until 10. We were too excited to sleep. Made breakfast together, pancakes, eggs, turkey bacon. "Can you believe it?" Kenneth said, flipping pancakes, smiling. "Our baby girl's graduating from Georgia Tech." "I know," I said, getting emotional already. "I'm so proud of her." "She gets it from you," he said, coming over to hug me. "Your work ethic. Your determination. That's all you, baby." I hugged him back. Kenneth and I had been married for 25 years, together for 27. High school sweethearts, got married young, had Jasmine when I was 23. It hadn't always been easy. Money was tight a lot of the time. We'd had our struggles, but we'd made it work, or so I thought. We got dressed. Kenneth in his good suit, the navy one he saved for special occasions. Me in my dress. Looking fly, if I do say so myself. "You look beautiful, Mo," Kenneth said. "Thank you, baby." We took pictures together, in our living room, before we left, just the 2 of us, smiling, happy. Looking back at those pictures now, I want to throw up. We got to Georgia Tech at 8:30. Parking was a nightmare, had to park 3 blocks away. But we didn't care. We were too happy, walking to Bobby Dodd Stadium. That's where they held the ceremony. The football stadium. It was packed. Thousands of people, all there to see their kids graduate. We found our seats. Section 115, row 12, seats 5 and 6. I remember the exact seats, because I'll never forget what happened there. Kenneth sat down first. I sat next to him. People were still filing in, finding their seats, taking pictures. The energy was electric. Everybody was excited, proud, happy. "I'm gonna go get us some water," Kenneth said, standing up. "It's hot out here." "Okay, baby, thank you." He left. Walked down the aisle, toward the concession stands. I pulled out my phone, started texting Jasmine. "We're here, so excited, we love you," she texted back immediately. "Love you too, Mama, see you after." With like 15 heart emojis. I smiled, put my phone away, looked around, taking it all in. The stadium was filling up fast now. Families everywhere. Black, white, Asian, Latino. All colors. All celebrating. I saw another black family a few rows down. The mama was crying already. Before the ceremony even started, I felt that. I was about to cry too. Kenneth came back, 2 bottles of water. "Here you go, baby." "Thank you." He sat down, opened his water, took a sip, and then his phone buzzed. He pulled it out, looked at it, and his whole face changed, from happy to stressed, in like 2 seconds. "What's wrong?" I asked. "Nothing," he said quickly, putting his phone back in his pocket. "Just work stuff." "Work stuff? On a Saturday? On Jasmine's graduation day?" "Yeah, you know how it is. Construction never stops." He laughed, but it sounded fake. Something felt off, but I pushed it aside. Because today was about Jasmine, not about whatever was stressing Kenneth. The ceremony started at 10 a.m. sharp. The band played. The graduates filed in, wearing their black caps and gowns, thousands of them, all marching in. I was scanning the crowd, looking for Jasmine. "There she is," Kenneth said, pointing. And there was my baby, walking in with her class, cap on her head, gown flowing, smiling. I started crying immediately. "Oh, Lord," I said, fanning myself. I promised myself I wouldn't cry yet. Kenneth handed me a tissue. "Too late," he said, smiling. But when I looked at him, he wasn't looking at Jasmine, he was looking at his phone. "Kenneth," I said, "put the phone away. This is our daughter's graduation." I know, he said, putting it away. "Sorry." But 5 minutes later, it buzzed again, and he pulled it out again. "Kenneth! It's important, Monica," he snapped at me. People around us looked over. I was embarrassed and annoyed, but I didn't want to make a scene. Not here, not now. So I turned away from him, focused on the ceremony. The president of Georgia Tech spoke, some other administrators, a student speaker, and then, finally, they started calling names, alphabetically. Jasmine's last name is Harper, so we had to wait a while. Kenneth was still on his phone, texting. "Who are you texting?" I whispered. "Work, I told you." "What's so important that it can't wait?" "Drop it, Monica." "Drop it? Drop it?" I wanted to snatch that phone, but I couldn't. Not here. Finally. They got to the H'ers. Jasmine Nicole Harper. My baby walked across that stage, and I screamed. "That's my baby! That's my baby right there!" Kenneth stood up, cheering. "Yeah, Jazz, that's what I'm talking about." For that moment, that one moment, he was present. Jasmine waved at us, smiled, got her diploma, and I cried happy tears because my baby did it. She graduated from Georgia Tech after the ceremony. We were supposed to meet Jasmine outside, take family pictures. There was a designated area with a Georgia Tech backdrop for graduation photos. Kenneth and I walked there together, but he was still on his phone. "Kenneth, please, put the phone away. We're about to take family pictures. I just need to make one quick call." "No! No calls! This is Jasmine's day!" He looked at me, annoyed, but he put the phone in his pocket. We got to the photo area. Jasmine was already there, looking beautiful, still in her cap and gown, diploma in hand. "Mama! Daddy!" She ran over, hugged us both. "I'm so proud of you, baby," I said, squeezing her tight. "Thanks, Mama. I couldn't have done it without y'all." We took pictures, lots of pictures. Jasmine by herself, Jasmine with me, Jasmine with Kenneth, all three of us together. Other families were taking pictures too, everybody happy, celebrating. "Let me get one of just you and Daddy," I said to Jasmine, stepping aside. They posed together, Kenneth with his arm around Jasmine, both of them smiling. I took the picture, and then I saw her, standing about 20 feet away. A woman, younger, maybe 35, 36, light-skinned, long weave, tight jeans, low-cut top, heels, to a graduation. She was standing there, by herself, staring at Kenneth. And when Kenneth glanced over and saw her, his whole body went rigid. "Daddy, you okay?" Jasmine asked. Yeah, he said quickly. "I'm good." But he wasn't good. I followed his gaze, looked at the woman. She was still staring. And then, she smiled. Not at me, not at Jasmine. At Kenneth. A knowing smile, an intimate smile. My stomach dropped. "Who is that?" I asked, pointing at her. "Who?" Kenneth said, not even looking. "That woman. The one staring at you." "I don't know what you're talking about. Kenneth, don't lie to me. She's standing right there. Looking at you." Jasmine looked confused. What's going on? Nothing, baby, I said, trying to keep my voice calm. Give me a second. I walked over to the woman. Kenneth tried to grab my arm. Monica, don't... I pulled away and walked right up to her. Can I help you? I asked. My voice was ice. I'm sorry, she said, playing innocent. I said, can I help you? Because you've been standing here staring at my husband. And I want to know why. Your husband? She said, looking past me at Kenneth. Kenneth was standing there, frozen, looking guilty as hell. Yeah, I said. My husband. So I'll ask you again. Who are you? She looked at me, then at Kenneth, then back at me. My name is Trina, she said. And I was just here for the graduation. For who? You got a kid graduating? No, She looked at Kenneth again. I came to support a friend. A friend. What friend? She didn't answer, because Kenneth walked over. Trina, you need to go, he said, his voice low, urgent. Trina. He knew her name. Wait, I said, looking between them. Y'all know each other? Monica, let's not do this here. How do you know her, Kenneth? He didn't answer. Kenneth. People were starting to stare now. Other families. Looking at us. Whispering. I think you should ask your husband that question, Trina said. Then she smiled at me. That same knowing smile. And walked away. Just like that. I stood there, shaking. Monica. Kenneth reached for me. Don't touch me. I walked back to where Jasmine was standing. She looked scared. Mama, what's going on? Ask your father, I said. My voice was shaking. I was trying so hard not to cry. Not here. Not in front of all these people. Not on Jasmine's day. Dad? Jasmine looked at Kenneth. Kenneth looked at me, then at Jasmine. Can we please talk about this at home? Talk about what? Jasmine asked. Who was that woman? Kenneth didn't answer. And that's when I knew. I knew. She's more than a friend, isn't she? I said quietly. Monica, please, isn't she? People were definitely staring now, but I didn't care. How long? I asked. Monica, how long, Kenneth? 2 years, he said quietly. 2 years. Jasmine gasped. Dad, what? I'm sorry, he said, looking at Jasmine, then at me. I'm so sorry. I couldn't breathe. 2 years. He'd been cheating on me for 2 years, while we were working our asses off to pay for Jasmine's school, while I was working 3 jobs, coming home exhausted every night. He was with her. And you brought her here? I said. My voice was shaking. To our daughter's graduation? I didn't bring her. She just showed up. So she just happened to show up? To a Georgia Tech graduation? Out of all the graduations in Atlanta? She just happened to pick this one? He didn't answer, because we both knew. He'd told her where to find us, told her it was Jasmine's graduation. Maybe he didn't invite her, but he'd given her the information. I can't believe you, Jasmine said, tears streaming down her face. Jazz, baby, I'm sorry. You ruined my graduation. This was supposed to be the best day. And you ruined it. She took off running, still in her cap and gown, crying. Jasmine, I called after her, but she was gone. I turned back to Kenneth. Don't come home, I said. Monica, I said don't come home. Get your stuff out of my house. I don't want to see you. Where am I supposed to go? Go to Trina's, since you've been spending so much time there anyway. And I walked away, leaving him standing there, in his good suit, at our daughter's graduation. The day that was supposed to be so perfect, so special, ruined, by him, by her, by this mess. I found Jasmine in the parking lot, sitting on the curb, still crying. Cap off now, gown wrinkled. I sat down next to her, put my arm around her, and we cried together. My baby girl. who'd worked so hard, who'd done everything right, on what should have been her day, her moment to shine. She was crying because of her father. "I'm so sorry, baby," I said. "I'm so sorry." "Why, Mama?" she sobbed. "Why would he do this? On my graduation?" "I don't know, baby. I don't know." We sat there for a long time, on that curb, in that parking lot, while other families walked by, happy, celebrating, taking pictures, and we were broken. Finally, Jasmine spoke. "Can we just go home?" "Yeah, baby. Let's go home." We got in my car. I drove us home. The whole ride, Jasmine was quiet, just staring out the window. When we got home, Kenneth's truck was already there. He was loading stuff into it, boxes, clothes. "Stay in the car," I told Jasmine. I got out, walked over to him. "You better be gone in the next 10 minutes. Monica, can we please talk about this?" "What's there to talk about? You've been cheating on me for 2 years. You brought your mistress to our daughter's graduation. You ruined the proudest day of our lives. What else is there to say?" "I made a mistake. A mistake is leaving the toilet seat up. A mistake is forgetting our anniversary. This is not a mistake. This is you choosing someone else. For 2 years. Please, Monica. Just go, Kenneth. Go." He looked at me, then at the car, at Jasmine, who was staring straight ahead, not even looking at him. He loaded the last box, got in his truck, and drove away. Just like that. 25 years of marriage. Gone. I got back in the car. "Is he gone?" Jasmine asked. "Yeah, baby. He's gone." We went inside. The house felt empty, even though we were both there. Jasmine went straight to her room, closed the door. I stood in the kitchen, looking around, at the life we'd built, the house we'd made into a home. And I broke, slid down the wall, sat on the kitchen floor, and cried. Really cried. For my marriage, for Jasmine's ruined graduation, for the man I thought I knew, for everything. How could he do this? How could he bring that woman to our daughter's graduation? How could he be so selfish, so cruel? And 2 years? 2 years of lies? What else had he lied about? I sat on that floor for I don't know how long. Until my phone rang. It was my sister, Carmen. "Hey girl, how was the graduation?" She was so happy, so excited, and I lost it again. "Carmen," I sobbed, "Kenneth's been cheating on me." "What?" And I told her everything. About Trina, about the 2 years, about the graduation. "I'm coming over," she said. "Right now. You don't have to. I'm coming." She hung up. 20 minutes later, she was at my door, with my mama and my other sister, Lisa, all 3 of them. They came in, took one look at me, still on that kitchen floor, and they surrounded me, held me, let me cry. "We got you," Mama said. "We got you, baby." And for the first time that day, I felt like maybe, I was gonna be okay, even though I didn't feel okay. Even though my whole world had just fallen apart, I had my people. And that was something. That night was the longest night of my life. I couldn't sleep, just laid in bed, staring at the ceiling. The bed felt too big, too empty. Kenneth's side was cold. His pillow still had the indent from the last time he slept there, which was this morning. This morning when we woke up happy, excited for Jasmine's graduation. That felt like a lifetime ago. I kept replaying it, over and over. The way Trina looked at Kenneth, the way he looked at her, the way he said 2 years like it was nothing. 2 years. That meant I started doing the math in my head. 2 years ago was 2023. That was Jasmine's sophomore year. We'd just refinanced the house to help pay for her tuition. I'd taken on that 3rd job, cleaning offices at night, coming home at midnight, exhausted, and Kenneth would already be in bed. "Long day at work, baby." That's what he always said. Was he really tired? Or had he been with her? How many times did I come home, bone-tired, feet hurting, back aching, and crawl into bed next to a man who'd been with another woman? I felt sick. Around 3 a.m., I heard something. Crying. Jasmine. I got up, went to her room, knocked softly. "Baby?" "Come in, Mama." She was sitting on her bed, still in her graduation dress. She hadn't even changed, surrounded by crumpled tissues, face swollen from crying. Her diploma was on the floor, just thrown there. Like it didn't matter anymore. "Oh, baby," I said, sitting down next to her. "Why, Mama?" she asked, voice hoarse. "Why would he do this? On my day?" "I don't know, sweetheart. Did he even want to be there? Or was he just there for her?" "Baby, don't do that to yourself." He was on his phone the whole time, texting her probably, while I was walking across that stage, while you were crying proud tears. He was texting her. She was right, and that made it worse. "Your daddy loves you," I said, even though I was furious at him. "What he did has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with me. He brought her to my graduation. He let her ruin my day because he couldn't keep it in his pants." I'd never heard Jasmine talk like that. She was always so respectful, so measured. But she was hurt and angry, and she had every right to be. "I don't want to talk to him," she said. "He keeps calling, texting. I don't want to hear his excuses." "You don't have to talk to him. Not until you're ready." "What if I'm never ready?" "Then that's your choice, baby. And I'll support you." She leaned against me, like she used to when she was little. "I'm sorry your graduation got ruined," I said, stroking her hair. "Me too. But you know what? You still graduated. From Georgia Tech. With an engineering degree. That diploma on the floor? That's yours. You earned that, and nobody can take that away. Not your daddy. Not Trina. Nobody." She picked up the diploma, looked at it. "You're right," she said quietly. "I did earn this. Damn right you did." We sat there for a while, just holding each other, mother and daughter, both heartbroken, both trying to be strong. The next morning, I woke up on Jasmine's floor. Must have fallen asleep there. My back was killing me. Jasmine was asleep on her bed. Finally, I got up quietly, went to my room. My phone had 23 missed calls, 15 from Kenneth, 5 from his mama, 3 from his sister, and 1 from a number I didn't know. I ignored all of them, except the unknown number. I called it back. "Hello?" A woman's voice. "Hi, someone called me from this number?" "Oh, yes. Is this Monica Harper?" "Yes. This is Trina." My blood went cold. "How did you get my number?" "From Kenneth's phone." "Look, I know you probably don't want to talk to me. You're damn right I don't. But I think you should know the truth." "The truth?" "The truth is you've been sleeping with my husband for 2 years. What else is there to know? Kenneth told me y'all were separated." I laughed, a bitter, angry laugh. "Separated? Separated? We live in the same house, sleep in the same bed. We were working together to pay for our daughter's school. Does that sound separated to you?" Silence. He told me you were getting divorced," she said quietly. "That you were just staying in the same house until Jasmine graduated. He lied to you. Just like he lied to me." More silence. "I'm sorry," she said. "I didn't know." "If I'd known, but you did know something was wrong. Otherwise you wouldn't have shown up to that graduation. You knew something. I wanted to see if what he said was true. And when I saw y'all together, looking happy, I knew he'd been lying." "So you came to verify? To see if my marriage was real?" And you didn't think about the consequences, about ruining my daughter's day. I'm sorry, she said again. I really am. For what it's worth. I broke up with him last night. Good for you. But that doesn't change anything. My marriage is still destroyed. My daughter's graduation is still ruined. So congratulations on your realization. A little late, but whatever. I hung up. My hands were shaking. Kenneth told her we were separated, that we were getting divorced. For 2 years he'd been lying to her, telling her I was basically his roommate, while I was working 3 jobs, coming home exhausted, being a wife to him. I felt like a fool. Carmen came over later that morning, with breakfast, biscuits from Bojangles, my favorite. You eat anything today? She asked. No. Well, you're eating now. She made me sit down. Eat. I wasn't hungry, but I ate anyway. Because Carmen wasn't gonna leave until I did. So what are you gonna do? She asked. About what? About Kenneth. About the marriage. I'm getting a divorce. I said it matter-of-factly, like I was talking about the weather. You sure? Y'all been together 27 years. And he threw it away. For Trina. So yeah, I'm sure. Have you talked to him? No. And I don't want to. Monica, eventually you're gonna have to… Why? What's he gonna say that'll change anything? I'm sorry? It was a mistake? I still love you? None of that matters. He cheated for 2 years. He brought her to Jasmine's graduation. There's nothing to talk about. What about money? The house? Y'all got assets. I don't care about the money. He can have it. I just want him gone. But Carmen gave me a look. Girl, you better care about the money. You worked 3 jobs to pay for Jasmine's school. You put your money into this marriage. Don't let him walk away with half of everything. Not after what he did. She was right. I need a lawyer, I said. I know someone. Let me make a call. By Monday, I had an appointment with attorney Vanessa King, black woman, mid-40s, sharp, no nonsense. I sat in her office, told her everything, the affair, the graduation, the 2 years. Okay, she said when I finished. Here's what we're looking at. Georgia is an equitable distribution state, which means marital assets are divided fairly. Not necessarily 50-50, but fairly. Now the affair does matter, especially in terms of alimony. If we can prove he spent marital funds on his mistress, that's dissipation of assets. And the judge won't look kindly on that. Did he buy her gifts? Take her on trips? Pay her bills? I don't know, I admitted. I didn't even know she existed until Saturday. We'll need to subpoena his financial records. Bank statements, credit card statements, everything. The house is in both your names? Yes? Who's been making the payments? Both of us. From our joint account. Okay, we can argue for you to keep the house. Given that you have your daughter living with you, and you've been the primary homemaker while also working. How long were you married? 25 years. You're entitled to alimony. Probably permanent alimony given the length of the marriage. I don't want his money. Yes, you do. Vanessa looked at me seriously. I understand you're angry, and you have every right to be. But you need to think practically. You worked 3 jobs. You sacrificed your career to support his. You raised your daughter. You maintained the home. He doesn't get to walk away scot-free. While you struggle, you're entitled to compensation for those years. Don't let pride or anger make you give that up. She was right. Again. Why was I always ready to sacrifice? To give up what I deserved? Not this time. Okay, I said. Let's do this. Let's file. Good. I'll draw up the papers. We'll serve him this week. That Wednesday, Kenneth was served. At work, divorce papers. He called me immediately. I didn't answer. He called again. And again. Finally, I picked up. What, Kenneth? You're really doing this? You're really divorcing me? What did you think was going to happen? I thought we'd talk. I thought we'd try to work it out. Work it out. You cheated on me for 2 years. There's nothing to work out. I ended it with her. I told her it's over. I choose you. You don't get to choose me now. You had 25 years to choose me. You didn't. You chose her. Every day for 2 years. Monica, please. And you know what's really messed up? You told her we were separated. You told her we were getting divorced. So you were already done with me in your head. You'd already left this marriage. I'm just making it official. I made a mistake. Stop calling it a mistake. Mistakes are accidents. This was a choice. A choice you made every single day. While I was working myself to death. To support our family. Our daughter. I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't fix this. Sorry doesn't give me back 2 years. Sorry doesn't give Jasmine back her graduation. Can I at least talk to Jazz? She doesn't want to talk to you. She's my daughter. Then you should have acted like a father. You should have protected her. Instead, you brought your mistress to her graduation. So no, Kenneth. You can't talk to her. Not until she's ready. This is wrong, Monica. You know what's wrong? Cheating on your wife. Lying to your family. Ruining your daughter's special day. That's what's wrong. And I hung up. Over the next few weeks, reality set in. I'd been working 3 jobs, but all that money went to Jasmine's tuition. Now that she'd graduated, I didn't need 3 jobs anymore. But I also didn't have Kenneth's income, his construction money. And the bills didn't stop. Mortgage, utilities, car payment, insurance, groceries. I did the math. With just my receptionist job, I was short, about $1,000 short every month. I couldn't afford the house, not by myself. You need to ask for temporary support, Vanessa said, until the divorce is finalized. The court can order him to pay. I don't want his money. Monica. She gave me that look again. We've talked about this. Fine, I said. File for it. The court ordered Kenneth to pay $1,500 a month in temporary spousal support, plus half the mortgage, but he fought it. I don't got that kind of money, his lawyer said. My client has his own expenses now. His own expenses, meaning his own place, away from us. The judge didn't care. Your client chose to engage in an extramarital affair. That's dissipation of marital assets. He'll pay the temporary support, or he'll be held in contempt. Kenneth paid, begrudgingly, but every month it was late, always some excuse. I didn't get paid yet. The check's coming. I'll have it next week. Meanwhile, I was stressed about money, about the divorce, about Jasmine. Jasmine had gotten a job as a junior engineer at a firm downtown. Good job, great benefits. $55,000 a year. She was doing well, professionally. But emotionally, she was struggling. She still wouldn't talk to Kenneth. He'd try to call, text. Can we please just talk, baby girl? I miss you. I love you. She'd delete them, without responding. I don't have a father anymore, she said one night. Cold, detached. Baby, don't say that. Why not? He stopped being my father the moment he brought that woman to my graduation. He made a mistake. Stop defending him, Mama. I wasn't defending him. I didn't know. Part of me wanted Jasmine to have a relationship with her father, despite everything. But another part understood her anger, her pain. She'd looked up to Kenneth, idolized him, and he'd let her down. In the worst way. 4 months into the divorce process, I found out something. Kenneth had bought Trina a car, a whole car, a 2023 Honda Accord, $28,000. How did I find out? Vanessa subpoenaed his financial records, And there it was, a car loan, in his name. But the car was registered to Trina Johnson. $28,000 of marital money, while I was working 3 jobs, coming home exhausted. He was buying her a car. "This is good for us," Vanessa said. "This is dissipation of assets. The judge is going to make him pay that back." But I didn't feel good. I felt sick. $28,000. That could have been Jasmine's last semester. That could have been a new roof we needed. That could have been a vacation. Our first vacation in years. But no, it was a car. For his mistress. "I want everything," I told Vanessa. "What?" "In the divorce. I want the house. The cars. The retirement accounts. Everything. Monica. He doesn't deserve half. He doesn't deserve anything. He spent marital money on another woman. He lied for 2 years. He destroyed our family. I want him to pay." Vanessa looked at me. "Okay," she said. "Let's make him pay." The divorce took 9 months total. 9 long months. Of lawyers, of court dates, of fighting. Kenneth tried to claim that the car was a loan, that Trina was paying him back. But there was no paperwork, no loan agreement, nothing. The judge didn't believe him. Kenneth tried to argue that he deserved half the house, half the retirement, but we had proof that he'd spent marital funds on Trina. Not just the car, hotel rooms, dinners, gifts, almost $50,000, over 2 years. "Your Honor," Vanessa said, "my client worked 3 jobs. To support this family. To pay for their daughter's education. While her husband was spending marital funds on his mistress. He bought her a car. He took her on trips. He lived a double life, using marital resources. My client is entitled to those assets, to compensation for his misconduct." The judge agreed. I got the house, the cars, 70% of the retirement accounts, and permanent alimony, $2,000 a month, for life, or until I remarried. Kenneth was furious. "This is highway robbery," his lawyer yelled. "No," the judge said calmly. "This is consequences. Your client engaged in misconduct. He dissipated marital assets. He's lucky I'm not awarding more. This court finds in favor of the petitioner. The marriage is dissolved. Gavel. Done." I walked out of that courtroom, legally single, for the first time in 25 years, and I felt relief. Not happiness. Not yet. But relief. That it was over. That I could finally, start to heal. The first year after the divorce was hard, really hard. Not because I missed Kenneth. I didn't. But because I was learning how to be me again. See, I'd been Kenneth's wife for 25 years, Jasmine's mama for 22. But who was Monica? Without those titles? Without those roles? I didn't know anymore. I was 48 years old, starting over. And girl, that's scary. But you know what? It was also freeing. For the first time in decades, I could make decisions for me. I didn't have to ask anyone, didn't have to consider anyone else's feelings. If I wanted to paint the living room purple, I could. If I wanted to eat cereal for dinner, I could. If I wanted to stay up until 2 a.m. watching reality TV, I could. It was my house, my life, my rules. Jasmine moved out 6 months after the divorce. Got her own apartment, closer to her job. "You sure you're ready?" I asked, helping her pack. "Yeah, Mama. I need my own space. To figure out my life." I understood that. But the house felt so empty after she left. Just me. In a 3-bedroom house. Some nights the quiet was nice, peaceful. Other nights, it was too quiet, lonely. I'd find myself calling Carmen, or my mama, just to hear a voice. "You need to get out more," Carmen said. "Meet people. Do something other than work and sit in that house." She was right, so I joined a gym, not to lose weight, not to get my body back, but because I needed to do something, move my body, clear my mind. I started going 3 times a week, after work, just walking on the treadmill at first, listening to podcasts, gospel music. Then I tried a class. Zumba. Girl, I was terrible. 2 left feet. Couldn't keep up. But I was laughing. For the first time in months. Really laughing. And that felt good. I started making friends there. Other women, different ages, different backgrounds. There was Patricia, 62, retired teacher, widowed 5 years. There was Angela, 35, never married, worked in tech. There was Donna, 51, divorced like me, 3 kids. We'd go to lunch sometimes after class, just talk about life, about men, about everything. It was nice. Having girlfriends, outside of my sisters, people who didn't know the old Monica, the married Monica. They just knew me, the woman I was becoming. One day, Donna said something that stuck with me. You know what the best part of divorce is? What? You get to choose yourself. Every single day. You get to decide who you want to be. Not who your husband wants you to be. Not who society says you should be. Just you. And she was right. For 25 years, I'd been making choices for us, for the family. Where we lived, how we spent money, what we did on weekends. Everything was a negotiation, a compromise. But now, I could just decide. And that was powerful. A year and a half after the divorce, I made a big decision. I went back to school, online program, business administration, working toward my bachelor's degree at 50 years old. You sure about this, Mama? Jasmine asked, when I told her. Yeah, baby. I'm sure. I've been a receptionist for 20 years. I'm ready for more. I'm proud of you, she said, and I could tell she meant it. It was hard, working full-time, going to school, doing homework, writing papers. At my age, some of my classmates were young, Jasmine's age, younger even. But you know what? I didn't care. I was there to learn, to grow, to become more. And I was good at it. Got straight A's my first semester. For the first time in my life, I was doing something just for me. Not for Kenneth, not for Jasmine, for Monica. And it felt amazing. Kenneth tried to come back into my life multiple times. First time was about a year after the divorce. He called. I actually answered, curious what he wanted. Hey, Mo. What do you want, Kenneth? I wanted to talk. See how you're doing. I'm doing fine. That's good. That's real good. Awkward silence. Look, Monica. I've been thinking a lot. About us. About what I did. Okay. And I just want you to know. I'm sorry. Really sorry. I made the biggest mistake of my life. I appreciate that. I was wondering if maybe we could get coffee sometime. Just to talk. About what? About, I don't know. About everything. About maybe trying again. I laughed. Couldn't help it. Trying again? Kenneth, we're divorced. I know, but there is no but. You made your choice. You chose Trina. For 2 years. You don't get to come back now. Trina and I aren't together anymore. I don't care. That's not my problem. That's not my business. I still love you, Monica. No, you don't. You love the idea of me. You love having a wife who works 3 jobs. Who takes care of everything? Who doesn't ask questions? But you don't love me. Because if you loved me, you wouldn't have cheated. You wouldn't have lied. You wouldn't have brought that woman to our daughter's graduation. I was messed up, and now you're not my problem. I'm done, Kenneth. I'm happy. For the first time in years. And I'm not giving that up. Not for you. Not for anyone. Monica, please. Goodbye, Kenneth. And I hung up. And I felt powerful. Because I meant it. Every word. I didn't need him. I didn't want him. I was building a life, and he wasn't part of it. The second time he tried was a year later. Showed up at my job. I was leaving for lunch, and there he was, standing by my car. "Kenneth, what are you doing here? I needed to see you." "You can't just show up at my job. You won't answer my calls, because I don't want to talk to you." "Monica, I made a mistake. Coming here today was a mistake. But the biggest mistake was losing you. You didn't lose me. You threw me away. There's a difference. I want to make it right. You can't make it right. What's done is done. Do you ever think about the good times? About what we had? You mean before or after you started cheating?" He flinched. "We had 23 good years. No, we didn't. Because I found out you were cheating for 2 of them, which means the last 2 years were a lie. So really, we had 21 good years. And then you destroyed it? I've changed. Good for you. But I've changed too. And the new me doesn't need you. Doesn't want you. Now get away from my car. And don't come to my job again. Or I'll call security." He looked at me. Really looked. And I think he saw it. Saw that I was different. Saw that I was done. He walked away. And I got in my car. And I smiled. Because I'd handled that. Without crying. Without wavering. Without doubting myself. 2 years after the divorce, I graduated. Bachelor's degree in business administration. At 51 years old. Jasmine came to my graduation. Just her and me. My mama, my sisters, my girlfriends from the gym. My people. When they called my name. Monica Harper, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration. I walked across that stage, and Jasmine screamed, "That's my mama! That's my mama right there!" Just like I'd done at her graduation. And I cried. Happy tears this time, because I did it. At 51, after a devastating divorce, after working 3 jobs, after rebuilding my life. I did it, and nobody could take that away from me. I got a new job 3 months later, office manager at a corporate firm, making $72,000 a year, more money than I'd ever made. I could breathe, could pay my bills without stress, could save money, could take vacations. I took Jasmine to Miami, just the 2 of us. Girls' trip. We laid on the beach, drank mojitos, laughed. "I'm really proud of you, Mama," Jasmine said, one night at dinner. "For what?" "For everything. For not letting what Dad did break you. For going back to school. For building a whole new life. You're my hero." My eyes filled with tears. "Baby, you don't know how much that means to me. I mean it. When everything happened with Dad, I was so angry and hurt. And I didn't know if I'd ever be okay. But watching you get back up and fight and thrive, that taught me that I could be okay too." We both cried, right there in that restaurant. But they were good tears, healing tears. 3 years after the divorce, I met someone. His name was David Morrison, 53 years old, divorced, 2 grown kids. We met at a work conference. He was in IT consulting. I was there for a business management seminar. We sat next to each other at lunch, started talking about work, about life, about our kids. He was easy to talk to, funny, smart, kind. He asked for my number. I hesitated. "I'm not really dating right now. I'm not asking you on a date," he smiled. "I'm asking if I can call you sometime. As a friend. Maybe we can get coffee. Keep this conversation going." I gave him my number. He called 3 days later. We went to coffee. Talked for 3 hours. About everything. Our divorces. Our kids. Our lives. He told me about his ex-wife, how she'd left him for her boss 10 years ago. I was devastated, he said. Thought I'd never get over it. But you know what I learned? What? That sometimes the worst thing that happens to you is actually the best thing, because it forces you to grow, to become who you're supposed to be. I felt that. deeply. We started seeing each other regularly. Coffee, lunch, dinner, just as friends at first, but somewhere along the way, it became more. He asked me to be his girlfriend 6 months later. Monica, he said. We were at dinner. I know we said we were taking it slow, and I respect that. But I gotta be honest. I'm falling for you. And I don't want to just be your friend anymore. I want to be your man. If you'll have me. I looked at this man. This good man. Who showed up when he said he would. Who called when he said he'd call. Who was honest. Who was present. Who was real. Yes. I said. I'll have you. Dating David was different from being with Kenneth. So different. David communicated. If something was bothering him, he said it. We talked through things. David was thoughtful. Remembered little things I mentioned. Surprised me with my favorite flowers. David was consistent. Didn't play games. Didn't make promises he couldn't keep. And most importantly, David respected me. My time, my boundaries, my choices. Being with him showed me what I'd been missing. With Kenneth. A true partnership. Where both people showed up. Where both people did the work. Where both people chose each other. Every single day. I introduced him to Jasmine a year into our relationship. I was nervous. What if she didn't like him? What if it was too soon? What if it brought up feelings about Kenneth? But Jasmine was happy for me. Mama, you deserve this. You deserve someone who treats you right. I'm excited to meet him. We met for brunch. David was nervous too. I want her to like me, he said. Just be yourself. That's who I fell for. They got along great. David asked Jasmine about her job, her goals, her life. Didn't try to be her father. Didn't try to replace Kenneth. Just got to know her. As a person. After brunch, Jasmine pulled me aside. I like him, Mama. He's good for you. I can see it. Yeah? Yeah. You're happy. Like, really happy. I haven't seen you like this in years. Maybe ever. She was right. I was happy. Genuinely happy. 4 years after the divorce. Kenneth reached out to Jasmine. She'd been ignoring him for years. But he kept trying. Finally, she agreed to meet him. For coffee. She told me about it afterwards. How was it? I asked. Weird. He apologized. Again. Said he's been in therapy. Working on himself. How do you feel about that? I don't know. Part of me wants to forgive him. He's my dad. But another part can't forget what he did. To you. To us. Baby, you don't have to decide right now. Take your time. Figure out what you want. Not what he wants. Not what I want. What you want. Thanks, Mama. Over time, Jasmine did rebuild a relationship with Kenneth. Slowly. Carefully. They'd meet for lunch every few months, talk on the phone occasionally. It wasn't what it was, but it was something. And I was okay with that. Because it wasn't about me. It was about them. And their relationship. I didn't have to forgive Kenneth. I didn't have to have a relationship with him. But I could support Jasmine in her choices. 5 years after the divorce. David proposed. We were on vacation. In Jamaica. On the beach at sunset. He got down on one knee. Monica Harper, you are the strongest, most beautiful, most amazing woman I've ever known. You survived things that would have broken other people. And you came out better. These last 3 years with you have been the happiest of my life. And I want to spend the rest of my life loving you, supporting you, building with you. Will you marry me? I was crying. Yes. Yes, David. I'll marry you. We got married a year later. Small ceremony. On a beach in South Carolina. Jasmine was my maid of honor. My sisters were bridesmaids. David's kids were there. Our closest friends. It was perfect. Simple. Intimate. real. And when I said my vows, looking at this man who chose me, who loved me, who would never hurt me, I felt whole, not because I needed him to complete me, but because I'd found myself first, healed myself first, built a life I was proud of. And then I found someone who added to that, instead of taking away. Today, I'm 55 years old, been married to David for 4 years, together for 8. Jasmine is 30, engaged to a wonderful man, planning her own wedding. She has a great relationship with David, calls him on Father's Day, comes to him for advice. She has a cordial relationship with Kenneth. They talk sometimes, see each other occasionally, but it's different now. The damage was done, and it can't be undone. Kenneth reached out to me one more time, about 2 years ago, through Jasmine. "Dad wanted me to ask you something," she said. "What?" "He wanted to know if you'd be willing to meet with him. To talk. He says he has some things he wants to say." "What do you think?" I asked. "I think it's up to you, Mama. Do you want to hear what he has to say?" I thought about it. "Yeah," I said finally. "I'll meet with him." One time, we met at a coffee shop, neutral territory. He looked older, tired, more gray in his beard, lines around his eyes. "Thanks for meeting me," he said, sitting down. "What did you want to say, Kenneth?" He took a breath. "I wanted to apologize, face to face, without asking for anything back. I destroyed our marriage. I hurt you. I hurt Jasmine, and I've had to live with that every day. I see Jazz sometimes, and she's amazing, strong, successful, happy. But when she talks about her life, she talks about you, about what you taught her, about how you showed her what strength looks like. And I realize I missed out on being part of that because of my own selfishness. I just wanted you to know. I'm sorry. Not because I want you back. Not because I want anything from you. But because you deserved to hear it. You deserved better than what I gave you. And I'm sorry I didn't see that. Until it was too late. I sat there, taking it in. For years, I'd wanted this apology, needed it. But now that I had it didn't change anything. "Thank you for saying that," I said. "I appreciate it. But you're right. It is too late. Not because I'm still angry or bitter, but because I've moved on. I have a life I love, a husband who treats me right, a career I'm proud of, and none of that includes you. I forgive you, Kenneth. For me. So I can keep moving forward without carrying that weight. But forgiving you doesn't mean forgetting, doesn't mean we're friends, doesn't mean anything changes. It just means I'm at peace with what happened and with who I've become because of what happened." He nodded, understanding. "You look happy," he said. "Really happy." "I am. I'm glad. You deserve it." We talked for a few more minutes about Jasmine, about life, and then we said goodbye. For the last time, as I drove away, I thought about that graduation. 6 years ago, the worst day of my life, when Kenneth brought Trina, when everything fell apart, and I realized that day broke me, but it also freed me from a marriage that wasn't serving me, freed me from settling, freed me from being less than I deserved. That day led to this day, where I'm thriving, where I'm happy, where I'm whole. And if I could go back and change it, stop it from happening, I wouldn't, because then I wouldn't be here, with David, with this life, with this peace. 6 years after that devastating graduation, 6 years after my world fell apart, I was standing in another stadium, Bobby Dodd Stadium, Georgia Tech. But this time was different. This time, I wasn't there to bury my pain. I was there to celebrate. Jasmine was getting married. She and Marcus had been dating for 3 years. He was an engineer too. Met him at work. Good man. Reminded me of David. Present, honest, real. They'd gotten engaged 6 months ago. And today was the big day. They'd chosen to have the wedding at Georgia Tech, where they both graduated, where they met. Full circle moment. I was in the bridal suite, helping Jasmine get ready. She looked beautiful. White dress. Natural hair in an elegant updo. Makeup perfect. Glowing. Happy. You ready, baby? I asked, adjusting her veil. Yeah, Mama. She smiled at me in the mirror. I'm ready. Marcus is a good man. The best. He reminds me of David, actually. My heart swelled. That's the highest compliment you could give. I mean it. Watching you and David? That's what I want. A partnership. Real love. Not whatever Dad had. She paused. Speaking of Dad, he's here, isn't he? Yeah. Sitting in the back. With his girlfriend. Kenneth had a new girlfriend. Her name was Michelle. Nice woman from what Jasmine said. Age appropriate this time. They'd been together about 2 years. You okay with that? I asked Jasmine. Yeah. He's my father. He should be here. But he's not walking me down the aisle. Who is? You are, Mama. My eyes filled with tears. Baby, you're the one who was there. Who sacrificed everything. Who showed me what strength looks like. You're the one who raised me. Who built me. Who made me who I am. So you're walking me down that aisle. I was sobbing now. I would be honored. There was a knock on the door. Come in. David poked his head in. You ladies ready? They're about to start. He looked at me, saw me crying. Happy tears? He asked, smiling. The happiest, I said. He came over, kissed my forehead, handed me a tissue. You look beautiful, he said to Jasmine. Marcus is a lucky man. Thanks, David. She hugged him. Thank you for being here. For being good to my mama. For being family. Wouldn't miss it for the world, Jazz. The music started. It was time. David took his seat. I lined up with Jasmine, my baby girl, who I'd raised, who I'd watched grow, who I'd seen struggle after that devastating graduation 6 years ago, and who was now standing here, about to marry a good man, looking radiant, looking happy, looking free. The doors opened. Everyone stood, and Jasmine and I walked down that aisle. Together, mother and daughter. I saw faces as we walked. My mama, crying happy tears. My sisters, Carmen and Lisa, beaming, David, in the front row, looking at me with so much love. And in the back, I saw Kenneth, looking at Jasmine with pride and regret. But then I looked forward, at Marcus, standing at the altar, watching Jasmine walk toward him, with tears in his eyes. That's what mattered. When we got to the front, the officiant asked, Who gives this woman to be married? I do, I said, voice strong. I kissed Jasmine's cheek, gave her hand to Marcus, and took my seat next to David. He reached for my hand, squeezed it, and I watched my daughter get married to a man who would love her, respect her, choose her, every single day. At the reception, everyone was celebrating, dancing, eating, laughing. Jasmine and Marcus had their first dance, to Best Part by Daniel Caesar and H.E.R. Beautiful. Perfect. Then it was time for the mother-daughter dance. Jasmine asked me to dance with her. We danced to A Song for Mama by Boys II Men, and I cried, because this moment, this beautiful moment, almost didn't happen. 6 years ago, I thought my life was over, thought I'd never be happy again, thought I'd never heal. But here I was, dancing with my daughter at her wedding, watching her start her own life, her own journey. And I was so proud. After the dance, Kenneth approached me. Monica, he said, can we talk? Just for a minute. I looked at David. He nodded. Kenneth and I walked to a quiet corner. "Thank you," he said, "for raising such an incredible daughter." "We raised her," I said. "I just did the work." He flinched, but he nodded. "You're right. And I'm sorry. For not being there. For not being the husband you deserved. The father Jazz deserved." "Kenneth, we've had this conversation." "I know. Seeing her today. Seeing how happy she is. Seeing you. With David. Looking so content. It just hit me. What I lost. What I gave up. For what? For Trina, who left after a year. For a string of relationships that didn't work. Because they weren't built on anything real." I looked at him. Really looked. "Kenneth, I hope you find happiness. I really do. Not with me. That ship has sailed. But I hope you find peace. With yourself. With your choices. Because holding on to regret? That's no way to live." "I know," he said quietly. "Jazz loves you. She invited you here. That's a gift. Don't take it for granted." "I won't." "Good." I turned to walk away. "Monica?" I turned back. "You really do look happy." "I am." "Good. You deserve it." And I walked back to David, back to my life, the life I'd built, from the ashes of what was destroyed. That night, after the wedding, David and I were at home, sitting on the couch, me with my feet in his lap, both of us exhausted but happy. "That was a beautiful wedding," David said. "It really was." Jazz looked radiant. She did. She was so happy. Like her mama. He smiled at me. "I am happy." "I know. I can see it. Feel it. You ever think about where you were? 6 years ago?" I thought about it. All the time. I was broken, David. Completely broken. I didn't think I'd survive. But you did. I did. And not just survive. I thrived. We both did. He pulled me closer. "I'm so grateful I found you." "Me too." "You know what the best part is?" "What?" "We found each other. After we'd both been broken. After we'd both healed. After we'd both become whole. So we didn't need each other. We chose each other. That's the difference." He was right. I didn't need David to complete me. I was already complete. But having him, having someone to build with, to share life with, that made it even sweeter. The next weekend, Jasmine and Marcus came over for dinner, just back from their honeymoon in Bali, glowing, happy, talking over each other, telling us stories. "Mama, you should have seen it," Jasmine said. "The beaches were incredible." "Show me pictures." She pulled out her phone, started showing me. And I felt so much love for this woman, my daughter, who'd been through so much, who'd had her graduation ruined, who'd had to watch her parents divorce, who'd had to heal from her father's betrayal, and who came out stronger, better, more herself. "Mama," she said later, when the guys were outside grilling. "Yeah, baby? Thank you." "For what?" "For showing me that it's possible to rebuild. After devastation. 6 years ago, when everything fell apart, I thought my life was ruined. I thought I'd never trust anyone again. Never believe in love again. But watching you pick yourself up, go back to school, build a career, find David, find yourself, that taught me. That the worst moment doesn't have to define you, that you can choose to let it destroy you or to let it transform you. And you chose transformation. So did you, baby. Because of you. Because you showed me how. We hugged, both crying, but happy tears, healing tears. "I'm so proud of you," I said. "I'm proud of us." 7 years after that graduation, I was at another graduation. Mine, master's degree in business administration. At 56 years old, I decided to keep going, keep learning, keep growing. And now I was walking across a stage, again, getting my master's degree. David was in the audience, Jasmine and Marcus, too, my mama, my sisters, all there to cheer me on. When they called my name, Monica Morrison, Master of Business Administration. Morrison was David's last name. I'd taken it when we got married. I walked across that stage, and my family screamed. "That's my wife!" David yelled. "That's my mama!" Jasmine echoed, and I felt so full, so proud, so complete. Because I'd done this, not for anyone else, but for me. After the ceremony, we took pictures, just like I'd done at Jasmine's graduation, 7 years ago. But this time was different. This time nobody was on their phone, nobody was distracted, nobody brought a mistress. Everyone was present, everyone was celebrating, everyone was happy. For me, for my accomplishment. And that felt amazing. I got a promotion 3 months later, Director of Operations, making $95,000 a year. More money than I ever imagined I'd make. Me, the girl who worked 3 jobs, who cleaned offices at night, who thought she'd be a receptionist forever. I was now a director, with a master's degree, making 6 figures, thriving. Today, I'm 57 years old, 8 years since that graduation, 8 years since Kenneth destroyed our family. And you know what? I'm grateful. I know that sounds crazy. Grateful for betrayal? Grateful for pain? Grateful for devastation? But yeah, I'm grateful. Because that moment, that horrible moment, when Kenneth brought Trina to Jasmine's graduation, when everything fell apart, when I thought my life was over, that moment changed me. It broke me down. So I could build myself back up, stronger, better, more me than I'd ever been. See, before that day, I was living on autopilot, working 3 jobs, taking care of everyone else, never thinking about what I wanted, what I needed, what I deserved. I was surviving, not living. But that betrayal, that forced me to stop, to look at my life, to choose myself, for the first time in decades. And once I started choosing myself, everything changed. I went back to school, got my bachelor's degree, then my master's. I built a career, not just a job, a career. I made real money, saved money, invested money. I bought a new car, a nice car, that I picked out myself. I traveled, Jamaica, Mexico, Dubai, places I'd only dreamed of. I made new friends, built a community, outside of being someone's wife. I found love again, real love. With David, a man who sees me, who values me, who chooses me every single day. I rebuilt my relationship with Jasmine, stronger than ever. We're not just mother and daughter, we're friends. And I found myself, the real Monica. Not Kenneth's wife, not just Jasmine's mama, but Monica, a woman with dreams, with goals, with value, with worth. A woman who deserves good things, beautiful things, real things. So when I say I'm grateful, I'm not grateful for the pain. I'm not grateful for the betrayal. I'm grateful for the transformation, for who I became, on the other side of that devastation. Now, let me talk to you. Yes, you, the one listening to this story, right now. Maybe you're going through something similar. Maybe he just cheated. Maybe you just found out. Maybe it happened at the worst possible time. At a funeral, at a graduation, at a birthday, at a wedding, at a moment that was supposed to be special, sacred, yours. And he ruined it. Maybe you're sitting there right now, broken, crying, wondering how you're going to survive this. Let me tell you something. You will survive this. I know it doesn't feel like it right now. I know the pain feels unbearable. I know you can't see past today. But there is a tomorrow. There is a next week. There is a next year. And in that future, you are strong. You are whole. You are happy. But you gotta do the work. You gotta choose yourself. Every single day. even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. You gotta go to therapy. Work through that pain, that betrayal, that trauma. You gotta lean on your people, your mama, your sisters, your friends, the ones who show up, who hold you while you cry, who remind you of your worth. You gotta protect yourself financially. Get a lawyer. Don't give away what you earned, what you deserve. You gotta take care of your kids, if you have them, but also take care of you, because you can't pour from an empty cup. You gotta invest in yourself. Go back to school, learn a new skill, start that business, get that degree. Whatever it is that makes you grow, do that. And eventually, you're gonna wake up one day, and the first thing you think about won't be him, won't be the betrayal, won't be the pain. It'll be you, your day, your plans, your life. And you'll realize, I did it. I survived. No, not just survived. I thrived. I'm better than I was before, stronger than I was before, more myself than I've ever been. And that man who broke my heart, that man who betrayed me, that man who ruined that special day, he's irrelevant now. A footnote in my story, not the whole story. Because my story, the real story, is about me, my strength, my resilience, my comeback. My name is Monica Morrison, used to be Monica Harper. 8 years ago, my husband brought his mistress to our daughter's college graduation. It was the worst day of my life, but it led to the best years of my life, because that betrayal, it didn't break me. It freed me to become who I was always meant to be. And if I can do it, coming from where I came from, going through what I went through, so can you. You're not broken. You're breaking free. You're not destroyed. You're being rebuilt, stronger, better, more yourself than ever before. So hold on, sis. The sun is coming. The storm will pass. And when it does, you're gonna look around at the life you built from the ashes, and you're gonna be amazed at what you survived, at what you overcame, at who you became. Remember, they thought they broke you, but they just freed you. Now go build the life you deserve. And when he realizes what he lost, you'll be so far gone, living so good, loving so well, thriving so hard, that he won't even recognize the queen you became. Your best days, they're not behind you. They're ahead of you. Believe that. Know that. Live that. You survived the worst day. Now go create your best years. You got this, sis. I'm rooting for you. I'm believing in you. And I can't wait to hear your comeback story. Because it's coming. Trust me. It's coming. God bless you, sis. You are strong. You are worthy. You are enough. And your transformation is just beginning.